Take number 5182. That's to sync the audio. Spike, spike, sync. Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Paul Blackwell and this is Buster's Boy, here to talk about all things camping and photography related. Excuse the dog, it's not my dog. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I use the obligatory time lapse for putting up this tent, which is a Quechua Air 4.1 fresh and black from Decathlon, which currently retails in Decathlon for £249.99. I bought this with my own money and I am not promoting it in any sort of way, although I did do a review, and this is not a review. If you want to see the review, the card is somewhere. I always forget which side it is. Probably I think it's that side. Anyway, getting off the point. So yes, every now and again, or every couple of days, I read the comment section below. And recently a lady called Gemma got in contact with me saying that she'd seen the beds that I'd used when reviewing this tent and she'd like to know a little bit more about them, and hence this video. So the beds that Gemma was talking about was the Camp Bed Air 70 and the Apenza Comfort 65, again all from Decathlon. Now the Camp Bed Air 70 is basically two tubes that are linked together on top of each other to give a little bit of height for your bed. On top of that you can then put an air bed or the Apenza Comfort 65 depending on your preference. Now I'm here to talk about the pros and cons of each way of using that bed and how they would fit in and how they work together. Right, so what bed are we talking about in this review? I've talked about several items here, but we're going to start off with the Camp Bed Air 70, which is the base of the bed, which the Sim or the Apenza Comfort 65 or the Air Bed, whichever you're choosing, goes on top. This adds height and a little bit of comfort, and if you have trouble getting down low to the ground, like if you have problems with your knees, then it is a good idea to use. But here it is itself. This is just one of them. This is the Camp Bed Air 70, and in its pack size measures 65 centimeters long by 19 centimeters across. When inflated, the Camp Bed Air 70 is 190 centimeters from head to toe, is 70 centimeters across, and is 25 centimeters high, or 10 inches. Yeah, okay, right off the bat, the one thing I don't like about this, and I have mentioned this before in the comments, is the fact that I don't like that I can't get it into its bag, and as you can see there's a little bit of excess on the top. I mean, it does go in and it does keep it together, but I like things to work as they should, and I think that the bag could be a little bit longer to make things a little bit easier to get it packed in and all nice and neat. But that said, that's just a little quirk from me, but there you go. So it's time to get this out and inflated. Now the good thing about the Camp Bed Air 70 is if you use one of these tents already, the Quechua, or maybe you've got a tent just like it, it will use the same pump. If you've been in Decathlon recently, you'll have seen this pump, and I think they retail for about £15. And they use the same nozzle as the tent itself. So there we go. Although it's not gonna. There we go. Yeah. So what I need to do is need to roll out the camp bed. As you can see, on each of the four corners we have these elasticated straps that are there to hold your sim or your airbed in place whilst you sleep. And here you can see the female end of the clip for making a double bed. And here is the male end of the clip, again for making the double bed. Now the camp bed Air 70 is all set up, we now need something to lay on top of that to have a good comfortable night's sleep. And for that there is at least a couple of options. You've got your sim mattress, which here is a Quechua Apenza Comfort 65, and we also have the double flock air bed, which you can buy from most camping retailers. This one just so happens to be from Go Outdoors and cost about £20. These are £35 each, so that's a cost to bear in mind. The Apenza Comfort 65, these two sims here, they measure in at 190 centimeters from head to toe, 65 centimeters width, and the depth measures in at 4.5 centimeters or 1.6 inches. Now for me personally, I am a side sleeper. I like to sleep on my side, so that means I have pressure points here and here, and I find that these are a little bit too uncomfortable for me personally. Hence the reason why I went and bought a double flock air bed. Now these are a little bit cheaper, they're a little bit thicker, and if your tent's got a very low ceiling then you might have problems with it. But for me it just makes a really good comfortable night's sleep. I've actually bought two of these because we have a dog, he has claws, and the thought of him puncturing the bed is a bit of a worry. Obviously it's only air and a skin, that's it. These have foam and they've air inside as well. These might be safer with a dog, but this one is definitely for me more comfortable. Again, it's all personal preference. It's which way do you go? That's why I put the tent up though, because I'm going to give the sims another shot. These are £35 each, that's 70 quid, and that's not money I can just go bye. So I'm going to give these a go tonight. I know what this is like, and you must have seen an airbed in action before yourselves, so yeah, we're going to give these a go. Right, how do these work? These are there we go. Pull that out. They've got a lovely feel to them, and I love this colour. My my hiking boots are the same colour as these, and I love it. This teal colour, teal and orange. Oh yes, Quechua. Oh yes, love it. Another benefit with these is, if you remember with the Camp Bed Air 70, we've actually got a clip and a buckle on either end to hold them together. Now if you notice on the end of these, you've actually got a zip, and you can actually zip these together. If I can unzip them. Haha, there we go. So there we go. Pull that out, and we will let nature take its course. We've got two valves here. We've got an in valve and an out valve. Whatever you do, when you blow it up, make sure that the out valve, which is this one here, is fully pushed in. Hear that? Now that's in. So then we open that, allow the air in. If you don't make sure that that is sealed properly, obviously you're going to be allowing air in, and air will go straight out or go over time. Okay, air's going in, but it's very slow. Okay, that didn't take long, maybe a couple of minutes. I did go a little bit red in the cheeks, but there we go. It's there is some depth to it. There we go, there's some depth. And what we do once that's on is yeah, actually that feels quite nice. There's quite a lot of spring there. Now the total height of that is Total height of that is 29 centimetres. So is that worth, if you're going to have a double bed, is that worth £170? 29 centimetres high. If that's the issue that you have, I don't think there's any thermal insulation properties with the Comfort 65. If there is, I will post about it here, but maybe you will get some comfort from it, but I think the main benefit for this is going to be the height. You're not going to be sleeping on the floor. I like it, but I think I don't know, I'm torn on it myself, hence why I'm sleeping on it tonight. Right, well now I've transferred the single camp bed into the darkened bedroom of the Quechua Air Seconds 4.1 Fresh and Black, yeah, from Quechua. As you can see, it's quite dark in here, and I love the blackout bedrooms, but yeah, it's actually nice, actually better than I remember it. And let's have a look. I now sleep with my head at the door end because the taper at the back, as I mentioned in my review, which I'll put a card here for you, was an issue. Oh my god, I'm fat. Yeah, actually that's not too bad. I'm wondering though if after 3 or 4 hours where I'd still feel the same way. Laying on it now, it feels okay. I'm not somebody like sleeping on my back, but I don't know. It's one of those questions. But the beauty of this is obviously the fact that you've got that extra bit of height, and you can sit up on it. Whereas if you're going to have an air bed, you've not got that luxury. And it's easy to get off the bed. And we're back out in the daylight. It's a little bit dark in there, and to be honest with you, I didn't really want to use ISO 1600 for too long. So what have we got here? We've now got 2 camp bed Air 70s. I nearly forgot the name there. We've got 2 camp bed Air 70s here, but obviously they don't go like in this configuration, because that's not a double, is it? And they won't go in this configuration. If you're thinking the fact that you can actually make 2 camp bed Air 70s to actually make a higher bed, then think again. I've tried it, it doesn't work, and all you're going to do is end up falling off. So don't try it, please, unless of course you've used super glue in that, in which case yeah, that might work, but I don't recommend it. Anywho, where are we? So yeah, now we've actually got 2 camp bed Air 70s side by side, one with the sim on top, one without. So yes, at the moment we have 2 single beds side by side, but as you can see, if you move in the night, you're gonna get this, and you're gonna probably end up falling down a massive crevice and having a bad nightmare. We don't want that. So Quechua have been very clever on this, and now they have a female and male socket, and what we do is we clip them together, and there's one at the other end which I'm going to do right now. And now if you or your other half move in the night, it doesn't matter. Great design, brilliant. Right, I'm going to get another Comfort 65 blown up and put on top, and then we're going to see what this is like as a double bed. I'm going to show you a little bit more closely this time. This is the in valve and this is the out valve. See how close they are and how they slightly overlap. Be careful that this isn't slightly out, because it's all too easy to think that it's actually in and that is sealed, but actually it's not. Look, see? So you've got to make sure that this is fully pressed in, and then do your in valve, yeah? Because otherwise you can catch this out valve, and then all of a sudden during the night you realise the fact that your sim has deflated during the night, and you think the worst, you've got a puncture, and you haven't. It's just the fact that this isn't pushed down too far. Ideally, personally, I'd like to see these a little bit further apart, or an out valve at one end and an in valve at the other, so there's no chance of you actually trying to inflate and actually ending up catching the out valve. And then blow air in. I'm actually gone light-headed. It's a shame that these valves aren't the same as the one that's on the tent and the camp bed Air 70. That way you could blow it up in half the time, because you're using the same pump and you don't have to carry two pumps with you. I suppose because it's only 4.5 centimeters deep, there's probably an issue there, but why do I have to blow these things up? And again, just be careful with the valves. They do overlap slightly, and the last thing you want to do is push one or open the exit one. Well, that's made me go really light-headed. Wow, I'm seeing stars. I'm glad that's over. Right, I've actually assembled this all in the outer part of the tent. I recommend personally to blow them up in the outer part, but then assemble it all in your bedroom, because obviously now these are strapped together, you can't really pick a double bed up and put it in there. You've got to take it in parts. So I'm going to strip these down into two single beds and then assemble it in the bedroom. Right, so that's the beds in. This is the double bed, and as you can see in the Quechua Air 4.1, you've got one main door for the bedroom. That leaves some space to get in and out. As you can see, it's not a great deal, but it's doable. You can actually get another single air bed here, no problem, with a walkway out of the tent. And other than that, yeah, it's okay. Now, I did mention in the review about the fact that with the taper at the back of the tent, that I find that my head's rubbing on the taper, and didn't really like it. Solution to that, quite simple. Sleep with your head at this end. Not the biggest fan of it, because you've got the light hooks at the other end, and it's nice to actually reach up and turn the light off, but I think that's just being a bit fussy, really. So I'd rather sleep a bit more comfortable, and this is okay. I'll see how the sims go tonight. I'm not going to blow the airbed up tonight. I'll do that tomorrow. It's getting a little bit late in the day, and this is only up for one night anyway. So I'll give you my honest review on these sims, how they feel on the camp bed 70s, and we shall see. I have an opinion on the airbeds. I don't know, I'm sort of 50-50 on it, but yeah, it's not too bad. It's definitely firm though, but it might be more resilient to the dog's paws. Right, I'm going to call it a day for this part of the video, and I shall see you tomorrow when I use the airbed and show you the difference in height that would make. I'll see you in the morning. Well, good morning everybody. It's the following morning and I did sleep on the 2 Camp Bed Air 70s and the 2 Comfort 65s last night, strapped together to make a double bed, but I'll give you my opinion about that in just a minute. First of all, we need some coffee, but a lot of you have been commenting about a little mini table that I've been using in a previous video for the Jetboil Minimo, which I'll put a link to up here. Now, this is the said table. I'm not an Amazon affiliate person, so there's no links unfortunately yet, but yeah, you can find this on Amazon, I think under Apenza mini camping table. Retails for about $18.99. I bought this with the intention to go wild camping or to cut down on my gear, and yeah, it's a really good table. It comes in 4 pieces. So you got those 2 which together, and they clamp together using the legs. They're like spring loaded. I'm going to show you how to put it together right now. So we've got our 2 main parts here. Put them together. There's a little slot on either side, and make sure that they match. And on the ends here you've got 2 little holes. These are what those go into. So it can be a little bit tricky at first. You slot that one in that side, and then you hook in the middle here, and like that. Okay. So again, put these 2 little bits here, one in one end, slot it under the gap here, and then in there like that, like so, and there we go, one little camping table so you can cook on. There we go, Jetboil Minimo, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Give that 2 minutes and then we have a lovely cup of coffee. Oh. That's a nice cup of coffee, very nice. YouTube, where do I begin? Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, before I get started, I'm not paid by Decathlon or Quechua in any way to promote these products at all. I bought these products with my own money, and the opinions here are mine alone, and maybe your opinion differs from mine. Maybe you hate them, maybe you love them, but that's fine, that's up to you. This is just my little corner to say this is what I think, and if you disagree, fine. Right, oh dear, where do I begin? I didn't sleep very well last night. I didn't, no. It wasn't because the temperature was too low or too high. It wasn't because a dog was barking or a cat meowing or a snail farting. It was because it was just too firm. The base is just too firm for me. Now I understand that this is 2 products. We've got the base, which is the Camp Bed Air 70, and then we've got the Apenza Comfort 65, which is the top part here. I'm going to come to the Apenza Comfort 65 in a moment. For right now, we're going to talk about the base layer, the Camp Bed Air 70. I think at the moment it retails for $49.99 on Decathlon. You can get them through the website or in store, and I think they're great. I honestly do. I think the benefit of the extra height makes you feel like you're actually sleeping in a bed at home. It's the same way of getting in and out. Gives that little bit of comfort, which in a tent like this is ideal because you've got that little bit of room. It's not like a one-man tent where you're going to be going hiking and that. You know, you can afford the space to have a little bit more luxury. So that is great. It uses the same pump as the tent. Brilliant. Yeah, love it. And you can clamp 2 together to make a double, which I have here. For that, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Because I just think the idea is brilliant. Now, the top layer, slightly different story. I sleep on my side. I'll go from one side to the other. Very, very rarely sleep on my back. So I want something that's a little bit thick, a bit like me. Now when I do my camping in a small tent, I'll use a sleeping pad, which is a Trekology A-Luft UL80, and that's a brilliant pad. It's pretty thick, it's comfy, and it means when I sleep on my side I feel great. I can have a good comfortable night's sleep. With this, I think if you're used to a firm bed, then you'll be perfectly at home with it, you'll be happy with it. But for me, I like a little bit like I'm climbing into a big soft bed and cozy up, and away I go, and next thing I know it's the morning. And with that, I just don't get that feeling from this. I like the idea, I like the fact that you can zip two together to make a double, but they're £35 each. £35 each. So you've got your double, your Camp Bed Air 70. If you're going to make a double, you're looking at £49.99 and £49.99 to make a double. So there's £100 gone. Then you got two of these, £35 each. That's 70. So you've got £170 for a double bed. You sleep on your side and you don't have a good night's sleep. £170 and you don't have a good night's sleep. Maybe for one night I could tolerate it, but for 2, 3, 4 nights, no. Oh. No. It's a lot of money to shell out for something that you're not going to be comfortable on. It's firm, it's got a foam construction as well as air that goes in, and I like how, I think it's quite tough. It's going to be tougher than, say, a airbed. That is obviously just a plastic or a PVC construction with air going in, and yeah, that is more comfortable than, say, the Apenza Comfort 65, but that is a little bit more durable. It's got foam in it as well. It's a little bit more sturdier, and that's partly the reason for this review. Now, I had a lady contact me. She's put a message in the comments and asked me about doing a review for this, and fine, that's great, no worries. And also as well, I wanted to see it for myself because it's been a while since I've last used these, and yeah, it's the same feeling that I remember from about a year ago, where I found it a little bit, it's okay, you can sleep on it for one night, but after that, no thanks. So yeah, the Apenza Comfort, the Quechua Apenza Comfort 65, I'm going to give 2 out of 5. You can zip them up and make a double, but it's not really for me, I'm afraid to say. Oh dear. Yeah, I would love to have loved them and gone, great, this is the way forward, but £170 for a double bed and not feel comfortable. Yeah, I could take a little bit of air out and that, but then you get to the point where you start to feel the slats of the Camp Bed Air 70 underneath. So then you're back to square one. Take a little bit of air out, but then you start to feel that. So, right, I said that this was going to be a one night camping in the garden, and I'm going to try this out. But in the interests, I'm going to go for 2 nights. I've actually got two of these. Now this is a spare one. We've got a dog called Buster, as you've probably seen on the channel before. And we're going camping in a few weeks' time. We're going to go up north, and Buster's coming along too. Now the reason why I've got 2 is because a dog has claws, and claws can puncture things like this. Maybe not quite so much this, which is why again I wanted to test it out. Now, as much as this is probably a bit more susceptible to Buster's claws, I think it's worth it, because if I don't get a good night's sleep, then I'm not going to have a good time, and maybe my driving is not as good as it could be. So yeah, I really wanted to like that. I'm kind of gutted. The Camp Bed Air 70 I really like. I like the idea. It's got a benefit. It gives you a bit of height, a bit of luxury. But the Sims, not for me. Maybe for you, but definitely not for me. But yeah, tonight I'm going to try this out, or the other one that's in there. I'm going to try that out, and I'll show you that a little bit later on. Yeah, that about wraps that up for this part of the video. So I'm going to see you later on this evening when I've got a fresh battery in my camera, because it's about to die on me any second, and I'll see you with this on top of the 2 Camp Bed Air 70s, and we'll try that out. But yeah, that'll be interesting. So now I've decided the fact that the Apenza Comfort 65 isn't for me. I'm now going to try out my second method, which is 2 Camp Bed Air 70s together like before, but this time I'm going to use a double air bed on top. Now it works in pretty much the same principle, just lays on top, and then you use the straps to put it into place. You are going to get a little bit of height with it, but a downside is because these slats here have a plastic coating, and obviously the underside of the airbed is also plastic. When you roll over in bed at night, you're going to get like a creaking sound, which, believe you me, is going to keep not only you awake but also your fellow campers. Now, the only way I've found to actually alleviate that is to use blankets, or in this case I'm using a throw. And what we do is spread it out.
I can't find the end. We spread it out over the 2 Camp Bed Air 70s.
And tuck it under the elasticated straps. And we do that for each of the 4 corners.
The only problem in this is the fact that now I've got to get over to that side. So don't look at my bum.
Now we took them nice and neat under, and now we've got a separation layer between the plastic of the Camp Bed Air 70s and the airbed, which will eventually go on top. The only problem with this is the fact that now I've got to get over to the other side.
I don't like it. I've tucked it under that strap, and under that one as well.
Pull it nice and neat, and now we've got that separation layer we so need. Right, time to get that airbed on top of here. Right, airbed's in place. Obviously now we need to put those straps over the airbed. Now, compared to the Apenza Comfort 65, obviously you've got a little bit more height here, so the straps are going to be stretched that a little bit further, so just bear that in mind. It's the same as before. Now, as I've said before, this is an airbed which I bought from Go Outdoors, but I imagine they're all pretty much the same size. You've got to remember the fact it needs to be 140 centimetres wide, because the 2 Camp Bed Air 70s are 70 centimetres wide. If you keep that in mind, then you should be okay. Try and keep your airbed to 140 centimetres wide by 190 centimetres long, and you should be okay. This particular airbed, I'm going to do a dimension on the height. Tape measure would come in handy. So what we're looking at here, about 45 to 46 centimetres in height, which is about 18 inches. Now this, like the Comfort 65, there's no insulation on it, there's no R rating, so I bought this mat here from Amazon. Unfortunately it's not a double, but it'll have to do. And again, with a little bit of little bit of movement that we've got in the straps, we'll use that and tuck that under there. Oh, good morning. It's Sunday. I've had my second night in this tent. Last night I tested it with the air bed and the 2 camp bed, Air 70s strapped together. And I think you know where I'm going to go with this. I had a very good night's sleep. Very, very comfortable night's sleep. Did wake up a few times, but that was just normal stuff. I'm going to keep this bit brief because you know where I'm going to be going with it. The 2 Comfort 65s I didn't really get on well with, as you know. This, much more comfortable. There is a little bit more instability, especially if you sit at the end to get into the bed, and you've got to be mindful the first time you put air into an air bed to not blow it up completely full. Let the seams settle in first. Then on maybe your second or third attempt at it, then put more air into it, let those seams bed in. I slept very well indeed. And that's it. Again, just my opinion, just my take on the situation. Your opinion may differ from mine, and that's perfectly okay. So that about wraps it up. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'll put a link below. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you do like this video, please like, comment and subscribe. I'm doing another video tomorrow actually. I'm going to be going for a walk up Beacon Hill in Leicestershire, and then I've got more camping trips and photography trips planned in the near future, so stay tuned for those. Thanks a lot, and bye bye for now.